Hey guys, so today I want to have a conversation about Paramount War OPO2. We're also going to talk about Pillars of Strength OPO3, and then we might also talk about OPO6 Wings of the Captain, and maybe even OPO7 500 years in the future. Now, we know that OPO1 and OPO2, OPO3, OPO4, all of that's going to be rotating out at the beginning of 2026. I believe it's April. It might even be earlier than that. But point being, those sets are going to be out of rotation. Those cards aren't going to be playable in the competitive TCG. And if you come from Pokemon, you've watched my Pokemon videos, you guys know that in Pokemon, that's not really relevant to booster box price because most people that collect Pokemon cards don't actually play the TCG. They want to open packs and booster boxes to try and chase their favorite Pokemon, chase certain artworks. Whereas with One Piece, there is a lot larger percentage of the community, at least in my opinion, and just because it's a smaller community right now, that actually play the game. So in the future, if we want to see One Piece booster boxes increase at a decent rate and become a legitimate investment, we need there to be a community of people that want to open older sets and chase the top cards in them. Now, at this point, I think there are a lot of signs that show that is the case. There are people that want to open these boxes. For example, and this is one of the larger reasons why I actually started investing in One Piece. When I was doing a lot of research, if I went on YouTube and I searched up unboxing for a certain set, a lot of the time there would be a video that got more views than the channel size, if that makes sense. And for you guys that do YouTube or know a lot about it, if you're getting more views than the amount of subs you have on your channel, that's a very good video in terms of growth for your channel. So there's clearly an audience for unboxings, and I think part of it just has to do with people being bored with Pokemon and other games. But also, I do enjoy the unboxing experience for One Piece. I think the cards are great, and I genuinely think a lot of them look better than Pokemon cards. And you can say that the artworks are better in Pokemon, and maybe that's the case for some cards, but I really like some of the unique things that One Piece is doing, and I'll show you a few of those in this video. But between these two sets, if I had to invest in one of them, Pillars of Strength or Paramount War, I'd probably be going with Paramount War just because it has a better top chase card. And again, if you guys have watched my Pokemon videos, you know I'm a big fan of taking the top 1, 3, 5, and sometimes even 10 values into consideration when I look at investing in booster boxes. And really, when we look at One Piece, it kind of is the same. OPO5, OPO9, and PRBO1, those are kind of the top sets in terms of value, and those are some of the most expensive booster boxes. It doesn't always go that way. EBO1 is quite expensive as well. Romance Dawn being the first box and set ever released is also very expensive. But for a lot of these other sets like O2, O3, 06, 7, 8, 10, it's going to be more interesting to see eventually long term kind of where they end up and see if there's a formula we can find by looking at the cards inside. So I don't think that my formula from Pokemon is going to work in One Piece, but again, I do think you have to consider what cards are in the set. So Paramount War, you have the Ace manga card, which for me, I prefer this card a lot more than looking at the Soga King manga from Pillars of Strength, which is the top chase card in that set. $366 versus a card that's $670-ish dollars, so almost twice as expensive. And this is something that I really like in One Piece. These manga cards I think are very unique, and this was one of the things I'm talking about that One Piece is doing correctly, in my opinion, when it comes to just the cards and collectability of them in the future. So that's something that I really like. Another thing that I like, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, OPO3 was the first set to introduce these wanted posters, which again, that's something from the anime, but I think it's really cool. You have a Luffy wanted poster, you have a Captain wanted poster. So again, Doflamingo also. This set isn't terrible by any means, but I would definitely go with Paramount War over Pillars of Strength, especially considering both of them right now are about $195, $200 USD. And you guys can find these boxes cheaper than this. I've seen, I believe, Paramount War for $245 Canadian on a website just today. A lot of other stores have them around $260 Canadian, which again is still a decent deal. That is much cheaper than $200 USD. TCG Player, at least for One Piece right now, is a little bit higher than the rest of the secondary market, if that makes sense. So use TCG Player kind of as a guide for where you think sets are going to go maybe in the next 3 to 4 weeks, right? It kind of has some lead time there. When we look at something like Wings of the Captain, I'm not really a huge fan of this set. Now, I will say the Zoro card in this set, the manga card, worth about $670 is great. I really like Zoro. I started watching the anime, and currently, at this point, I think Zoro is probably my favorite character. But I imagine that will change as I get deeper into the anime as well. I also really like Buggy. I like his character. I think he's great. You have the Rebecca in here as well. Another waifu card, and again, waifu in One Piece is way better than something like Pokemon, and it makes sense why some of these cards are very expensive. And a lot of them, you have investment potential. So a few months ago, back in early January, this was about a $90 card and went up to around $150, $160. It's selling about $120 now, I believe, based on most recent sales. But again, a lot of those waifu cards you could have made plays on over the past couple months. 500 years in the future, a lot more waifu as well. But the booster box price, $110. You have the Boa Hancock manga card, and that is the top chase around $500. And this card out the gate was very, very expensive, $2,400. It seems like it's kind of found its bottom somewhere between $450 and $500 here. Everyone likes Boa Hancock. Outside this, you have a Nami card, another Boa Hancock Doflamingo. You have a Jewelry Bonnie as well. So some decent cards. But again, the top chase, when I look at it, I'd probably side with Zoro. But there is quite a significant difference in booster box price between these two sets. About $30-ish right now, which is something you need to consider. And in the future, we're going to look deeper at all of these sets. We're going to look at top 30 values, top 50 values, and really get a better idea of how deep some of these sets are. But again, like I'm a big fan of the top hits. I think that's probably one of the most important things to consider. So again, both of these sets right now, it's probably a toss-up what I would go with. Personally, I'm not touching either of these right now, but you can't go wrong with about a $100 box, $110. Not terrible. And even Wings of the Captain, this box has been coming down. It's been out a lot longer, I believe almost a year at this point. And even though it was down to around $85, $90, you can still find this fairly cheap. I know on Hobbiesville, they actually have a fairly big sale going right now. 72 boxes in stock, so a fair amount. $180 Canadian if you guys want to get some. They have about 80 boxes of OP09 as well, around $220. Only 10 boxes currently listed of OP05, $300 Canadian. I did buy some of these, by the way, and once I get all my product in, I'm going to be making a video showing you guys as well, just to confirm with you that, I actually buy the product. And again, if you've watched my Pokemon videos, you guys know that I'm not bullshitting, but again, I think it'll be fun to do that. And then one other thing I wanted to touch on this video, which I think could be an interesting investment, these illustration boxes. And part of the reason why I like these, waifu. I'm not a huge fan of waifu, but I understand some people will be, especially this volume 1 that has Boa Hancock in it, and I believe Onami is the other one. These are in stock on Walmart.ca right now for MSRP. I picked up one of each box of volume 1 and volume 2, $34.92 Canadian. So I believe if you buy them both, it's like $78.22 Canadian after tax. I think it's worth getting a little bit of exposure to these. First off, if you buy these at MSRP, you're already below market value, which is around $45 Canadian. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what the conversion of this number would be in USD, maybe like $25 or something. So you're already below market in terms of your buy cost. And then just long term, we don't really know how illustration boxes and this sort of set will work in One Piece. But I don't think it hurts to buy at least one, right? It's a $30 investment. It's nothing too major. And you have some decent characters in there, Nami, Boa Hancock, great waifu cards as well, promos. And then the sets aren't terrible. I believe it comes with Wings of the Captain, OP06, and then OP08, I think is the other one. Even though it shows OP09 in the photos, I don't believe those are actually the booster packs that come in the set. But those are kind of the things I want to talk about in this video, guys. Again, if you've been around One Piece a lot longer than I have, or you have something that you want to share, let me know in the comments down below. Personally, Paramount War, I might buy some. I might try and just get a little bit of every box, maybe just one for display purposes eventually. I'm still in the market for a blue bottom Romance Dawn. I think that'd be great. I ordered a white bottom. I'd like to get a blue bottom as well. And again, once everything comes in, I'll show you guys. It's on the way. Trust me. Canada Post takes a little bit sometimes. And one last thing to ask, if you guys are watching this, first of all, thank you for following me to a new channel. And if you know anyone who's a fan of One Piece and you want to share it with them, gets the channel out there. I really appreciate that. Leave a like on the video, comment for the algorithm. And again, if you're shopping on Hobbiesville, eBay, TCG Player, I have affiliate links. They're free and easy to use. I get a small kickback from it. So you guys know the deal at this point if you've been around a while. Thank you so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.